Let's take a look at some sports news now. Here's Pt.4 Balogun.
Many thanks, Ichoma. We're starting off with some football news. Well, Nigeria's Super Falcons have lost their opening match by 3-0 against China at the Four-Nation Invitational Tournament in Wuhua. Now, Zhang Rui opened scoring for the hosts in the 9th minute. Li Ying then added 2 more goals for the Steel Roses in the second half to secure all 3 points. The Wuhua Invitational is part of the Super Falcons' preparation for the Women's World Cup in June. Well, they will face Romania in the 3rd place on Sunday after the Romanians lost by the same scoreline to South Korea. 11 years after beating Joe Wilfried Tsonga for the 2008 Australian Open, top seed Novak Djokovic bested the Frenchman again at Melbourne Park to reach the 3rd round. The world #1 claimed a clinical 6-3, 7-5, 6-4 win in the late match at the Rod Laver Arena in 2 hours and 4 minutes. Djokovic will next face Canadian teenager Denis Shapovalov. Meanwhile, Alexander Zverev wasted a flurry of opportunities before securing a 7-6, 6-4, 5-7, 6-7, 6-1 win over Jeremy Chardy to book a place in the 3rd round. The 21-year-old 4th seed took a 2-set lead but wasted 4 chances to break in the 3rd and then lost his serve to surrender the set. Chardy won the 4th set in a tiebreak but ran out of steam in the final set as his errors mounted and Zverev took to victory in 3 hours and 46 minutes. Well, that's a wrap in sports news. I'm Pt.4 Balogun. The news at 10 continues shortly.
Thanks a lot, Pt.4. 9 people have been killed following an explosion in the Colombian capital, Bogota. The blast happened outside the school for police cadets in the south of the city. 54 people were reportedly injured in the blast. According to witnesses, a car entered the school compound and it was stopped by guards at a checkpoint. The driver accelerated and hit a wall, at which point the car exploded. The driver of the car is believed to be among the dead. Car bombs were not uncommon during the decade-long conflict between the Colombian government and left-wing rebels of the Revolutionary Army Forces of Colombia. But local media say there's been no such blast in the past 9 years. On to Brexit talks now, and with all the reactions pouring in from European partners, France says it's launched a contingency plan to prepare for a no-deal Brexit situation. The French Prime Minister, Edouard Philippe, says laws have to be passed and millions invested in French ports and airports. An EU official is expected to travel to all 27 capitals to coordinate no-deal plans. Germany thinks everyone in Europe will lose if the UK left without an agreement and that plans for a disorderly Brexit would have to be stepped up. Meanwhile, back in Parliament, the leader of the House of Commons, Andrea Leadsom, said they've been debating Mrs May's Brexit Plan B on January the 29th. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister is meeting with MPs to try to find a way forward for Brexit following her victory in the no confidence vote. And the main news again. The Independent National Electoral Commission today excluded the All Progressives Congress from the list of political parties contesting the National Assembly elections in Rivers State. The electoral umpire also released a list of presidential candidates and their running mates for the 2019 elections. Also today, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, arrived in Washington, D.C., the United States, after over a decade of not visiting the country. Alhaji Abubakar confirmed in a tweet that he'd be meeting with U.S. government officials and the Nigerian community. And France today launched a contingency plan to prepare for a no-deal Brexit. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight, but on a programming note, Prime Politics, our new political program, will air from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, January the 18th. Prime Politics takes political party campaigns and debates from the field of politics into a live studio environment where seasoned panelists and a live audience take a critical look at current political events and issues. So join us this Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we look at the road to 2019 and beyond. The program will return to its normal time from 8 to 9 p.m. next week. Thanks a lot for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Good night.